Welcome to part 5 of Greenfoot Programming. In the last installment I covered collision detection, allowing the player to destroy planets and enemies. Likewise, the enemies are now able to destroy the player. But what the game is lacking now are some animations and sounds. So let's get started and add those right now. Let's start by adding explosions. Open class explosion and add these variables. Image count will be used to determine how many images will be put into the following variable, array images. Image no is used to determine which image to display, while increment increases and decreases in the loop, as shown later on. Finally, is sound played is used to make sure the explosion sound only plays once. The constructor calls method initialize images, then sets explosions image to the first image in the array. Method initialize image takes the image explosion.png, assigns a Greenfoot image array of size image count to variable images. Using a for loop, it then determines the size to which the image will be scaled to, assigning the base image to a position within array images, and finally scales it to the aforementioned size. In the act method, the explode.wave sound is played, as long as it hasn't been played before. After that, a loop is implemented which first cycles forward through the image array and then cycles backward. This gives the impression of a growing, then shrinking explosion. At the end of its cycle, the object is removed. Be sure to save, then close explosion. Now open class torpedo, adding the following three image variables, and torp animate, which is used to determine when to display the next image. Outlined here is destroy enemy, which is incorrect. Instead, add animate. You will, however, add the following line to destroy enemy, which will add an explosion object at the coordinates of the torpedo. The animate method uses a different approach to animation than explosion. In this case, it increases counter torp animate, and when it reaches either count 5, 10 or 15, it will display a different image. You're done with the torpedo class, so save and close it. Open class player. You'll find that it uses the same technique as the torpedo, this time using only 2 images and a counter. Once more, add a call to the animate methods. And in method check for planet, add an explosion object. Go to the check for enemy method, add another explosion object, and have it play the sound file that.jim.wave. Finally, in the animate method, you let one image display for a count of 50, while the other displays for a count of 5. Doing so will create a blink-in effect. Finally, save and close this class, then save and compile your scenario. If all went well, you should see and hear explosions when the player destroys a planet, a torpedo destroys an enemy, or when an enemy destroys the player. You should also see a light blink on the player's ship. Thank you for watching, and please join me next time as I'll show you how to add a non-persistent high score table.